Hi everyone, my name's Britton Klein, Ad Sales Manager, and welcome to this week's edition of Level Up from Behind the Counter by Scuba Diving Industry Magazine.
And I'm William Klein, publisher, and then thank you for watching this Retailer to Retailer series. If you're a dive shop out there, or a dive store, or a dive center, and you have something you'd like to contribute, reach out to us. I'm sure other retailers would love to hear your story. So,
That's right.
Britton, who do we have with us today?
Yes, so today we have Yasmany Fuentes and Lauren Vail from the Scuba Company in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yas and Lauren, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Hey, thanks for being here, Yaz and Lauren. Britton, I love this series. I love how retailers can talk about their best practices and inspirations and ideas, and some amazing stuff comes out of these videos. So I can't wait to dig into today's show.
Yeah, it'll be a good one today. But to dive right in, Yaz and Lauren, with a 3,000 square footage of retail space, the Scuba Company appears to be a major dive center. Could you tell us a little bit about the history of the store, maybe where you're located, and a little bit about your clientele there?
We're located essentially in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the Scuba Company started 36 years ago by Fred G. Wells. He started the company because he went diving at other dive shops, and he found that the customer service was not up to his standards. Fred Wells was vice president of Southwest Bell, a telephone company, for 40 years, and he wanted customer service to be higher than what he was experiencing and the quality to always be there. In my part, 14 years ago, I walked into the store and the customer service and quality was there, but unfortunately the store was tired. So Fred and I partnered up and we developed and started growing the shop into what it is today, in the full transition that we've done and grown it to what it is, a fully immersive dive operation that we cover everything from dive operation, dive classes, DOT, hydrostatic testing, to anything that you can need in the dive industry, medical field, fire department, anything of that matter.
Wow.
That's a brightly lit shop. So tell us a little about your clientele in that area where you're located.
Albuquerque, it brings in customers from all over the place because we're the diving capital of the Western region of the United States, with people to believe it or not. We do more certifications in Blue Hole than most shops ever even consider doing in the West Coast. People from Phoenix, Utah, Colorado, Kansas, Texas, they all come to Blue Hole. They all travel through Albuquerque for the most part to do their diving. Now, those shops generally don't stop in here, but the population here does go a lot of diving and do something else they want to do. People from Colorado come in and sign up and go do scuba diving. They want to do something that they can't reach and access. And diving conditions in Santa Rosa Blue Hole are so perfect that our divers are safer than they were if they were diving in the ocean. The visibility is better, and we can't lose them. If they go to the bottom, they're at the bottom. If they go to the surface, they're at the surface. We don't lose them. We can see them the entire time. And as an instructor, we know how much visibility is an importance for anyone to teach in a class. We want to be visible to all of our students at all times.
Definitely.
So our clientele is pretty diverse and vast. We have customers from the military base, Sandia Labs, Los Alamos Labs, customers from the street, from the South Valley, Spanish-speaking customers, Chinese-speaking customers. We have customers from all sorts, and we accommodate all of them. And yes, we do offer Spanish classes here as well. And if we need different languages, we do have instructors and subcontractors translate.
Wow, that's an immersive customer experience. So your center looks really impressive in the videos we're watching. And I was especially love the dual classroom of the dojo because I'm a black belt myself in Tong Soo Do. So I love that. I first noticed the tennis balls in the bottom of the chair. I was like, oh, because he's got a mat down. And then I saw the punching bags. That's great.
So good.
So would you care to share 3 things that you do as a dive center you think you do that really well that sets you apart from the competition?
Well, I'll first add that, the reason we have the dual classroom and dojo is my father lost his space during COVID, and we wanted a place that we could teach class, and I wanted to give my father a space for his karate, and it's turned into a place of multi-usage. So this classroom space is a karate space for my father's karate school. It is also a meeting for the cardboard playhouse. acting group for kids that they needed a place to host their meeting for their parents and whatnot. We've had parties and everything else in here. So this shop does very well in bringing in the community. That is one of the biggest things that we do, is in inclusiveness of all of our customers and anything that the community needs. If someone comes in and needs something, we're going to try and find a way on how we can meet that. We're not just like, no, the open water is weekend to weekend. One of the biggest things is we meet people's schedules and we pay attention to people's schedules. Like if someone does a class and they're just not hitting it and something's not clicking, we don't just tell them, okay, the next class is another $300 or $200 for you to get private sessions. No, we just rotate them into the next class with the next group of instructors and see if that works. And we try out to a point that we make sure that the customer is satisfied. So the biggest thing that will tell you is that we make sure that our customers, our community, and our outreach is always including everyone's needs rather than just the dollar. That is one of the biggest things that I will tell you that our shop really does do, is listen to our customers. Customer comfort over profit, always. That is the biggest thing. And customer built on family basis. If you have a family, well, bring in the family. Great. You have a family of 5, let's give you a discount. Let's work it out.
Right.
Oh, we need to sell the kids fins. No, we don't need to sell the kids fins. The kids are going to outgrow them. Why don't we just use the rental for the kids? The parents, you buy stuff. Oh, that's great. Hey, I want to introduce my family into scuba diving. Okay, why don't you just do an an advanced course? I'll give you the pool time and everything for free to be there with your family while your family does the open water. I want you to be in the water and train with your family.
Right.
There's no sense in for you to sit outside the pool. We want the family integration. We want everyone to be together. Customer satisfaction and quality, always the number one thing we want to focus on.
Brilliant.
It's absolutely brilliant. And I tell you, we're watching some of these photos slide through in the slideshow, and I'm seeing a lot of smiles, and smiles don't lie. So very, very true. And it's so fascinating that you have seemed to blend these 3 very successful companies into a seamless customer experience, it sounds like. Could you address maybe why having your own travel agency, as well as being a partner in Fantasy Island Dive Resort in Roatan, has maybe helped your dive center as a whole?
Good question.
Nice.
So for having the travel agency, what it's allowed us to do is take our divers and get them out of the state. We're landlocked, so all we got is Blue Hole. There's Perch Lake and Rock Lake to go dive, but if you really want to get in and see the ocean and the marine life, that's what our travel agency here allows us to do. So we take them all around the world, but we're the same customer service you'd expect and you get in our shop is what you get on our travel agency. So 24/7 customer support, custom built trips, built around families, built around specific needs, built around specific dive sites, or skill sets that you're looking to get that you can't quite get here. So drifting we can't obviously do here, and we can't do much of our tech diving here, but we can put you on those trips to get them done. So it's helped advance our customer base and allow them to take the lessons and the open water and advanced certs they're getting here and apply them into the ocean and dive real world. And then as far as partners in fantasy?
As partners in fantasies gives us, there's lots of dive shops that find airfare that, oh, if we arrive on a Monday, we save on airfare of $300, $400. Great, we could still take you because the resort is so big and vast.
Awesome.
Being partnered with them, the autonomous ability to be able to get customers to go in on a Monday, Wednesday to Wednesday, Monday to Thursday, whatever schedule they like, it makes it much easier for dive operations to sign their groups on based on airfare, because airfare, as we know, keeps on skyrocketing up and down, and we don't know what roller coaster we're riding on. You sign them on. So giving us the ability of not just going, sorry, it's Saturday, and being a little bit more flexible and listening to dive shops, and having the ability to answer a question like, do you have availability tomorrow? And I can say, yes, we do. I don't need to answer to nobody else. That makes a big difference in dive operations, and our prompt response. That having that partnership is invaluable compared to being just a wholesaler for other dive operations. But yes, we are dive wholesalers for several operations, but having the full control that we have with Fantasy and being able to offer what we offer to our clients and get them in there diving on a schedule that works for them, offering everything that we do, it's invaluable.
That's very
Phenomenal.
cool. So let's talk about the future of the Scuba Company. What are 3 things that you're planning to expand, change, or start in the near future? 'Cause it seems like you've got a incredibly diverse and robust system of marketing. I'm curious to hear what you have to say there.
Look, I will say this. We might be a little bit of cuckoo. Well, everything that we've challenged and taken on has been so much, and everything has always been something like, you know what? We could do that better for somebody else. We could do that better. And one of the biggest things that the next points that we're expanding is our veteran programs, our VFWs, and getting our veterans in here diving, and the different partnerships that we have now with different swim schools and different programs out there for kids and adults.
Right.
That is something that we're developing quite big. We offer 100% Discover Scubas for free for our clients.
Oh, cool.
You sign up, we just free. Like, we just give it away for free. That it doesn't hurt us. We're already in the pool. Let's give people the experience. We host big events, and that's one big thing that we're pushing is for bigger community events to bring in more people into the diving to understand that it's not that scary, and also programs to offer it for kids that are on low income that need that kind of.
Yeah, that's great.
For sure.
Diving social events where we're going to start doing movie nights. The other night we had a food and drink night that we just came in, had an alcoholic beverage, had some food, and just chatted and met new people. Several people got to meet each other, and no sales were sold. Not a single sale was sold. There was no plan about selling. Having this space that we have here allowed people to just come in, relax, and chat. It was supposed to be a 2-hour event. We were here for 3.5 hours. People just talking and sitting down and just telling stories.
That's awesome.
And enhancing hybrid learning. Look, everyone's pushing for this e-learning platforms that are working great. Yeah, it's working great, not for everyone. So although you do learning platforms, we have the flexibility, and we actually make an orientation for 4 hours here in the shop to make sure that e-learning is sunk in before we ever take them into the water.
For sure.
If someone refuses, we get them to the water and we make them get there a little bit early, so we make sure that we double check them. We give them more time in the pool than it is required. We spend about 11 to 12 hours in the pool time for our customers. And then we do the blue hole portion the following weekend. But if someone wants to jump onto another one, again, goes back to that customer service quality, to make sure they're like, okay, you can do this weekend, but you can't do next. Great, let's shift you over, bump you over. And all of our instructors teach the exact same way. And I know we have the PADI slate that everyone follows, because we follow PADI. And I respect every other agency that's out there. Good for them. We just follow PADI. We also have special permission from PADI, and we teach the very format that gives our customers more. In a way that I say it and people laugh, I'm going to teach you how to walk and chew gum at the same time for scuba diving.
That's
It's
great.
really kindergarten. And I mean, most of my customers don't touch fins for the first 2 hours of being in the water.
Wow.
Make sure that all the stuff is solid before we move on.
That's great. And
awesome.
if you create divers, and being an instructor myself, you create divers that are comfortable in the water. You've come so far in their journey to get them to keep them in diving.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And personally, I mean, I had a bit of a tougher time in the classroom. So to hear you guys say that you go the extra mile to make sure that these kids are, and just folks are comfortable before they hit the water is it's awesome. But Yas and Lauren, one last question. What piece of advice do you think that you would offer another retailer, or even just to those thinking about buying or starting a dive center? That $1 million piece of advice that you maybe wish that you had before you started the Scuba Company. It was a loaded one, I know.
I would tell you the $1 million question for me is stop trying to compete with online sales. We're never going to win. We're never going to win with that.
Right.
Online sales and dive operations are really stepping on each throat of every dive operation out there. And they're selling and competing against the dive shops. You're never going to win. And if you think you're going to win and continue playing that game, you're going to lose. Start putting your money where the customers are. The customers are the way to go. And if the customers are taken care of and they're satisfied, they'll come back and they'll buy what they need to.
Totally.
You don't always need to make a big dollar off of your customers. Sell them what they need, and they'll spend more with you in the long run. Take care of your customers. That's the number one thing that you could always do. That's my $1 million advice: is stop worrying about the dollar, start worrying about the customer.
Love that.
That's great sage advice. And I know we've certainly learned a lot. And I know this is a great video for retailers out there to learn. But before we go, I want I'd like it to tell us a little about this program that you have called Dolphin Warriors, which I came across on your website. Would you care to tell everybody a little bit about what that's all about and how that works with your shop?
So our shop, 13 years ago, we started our program, and 13 years ago, we were doing free stuff for veterans that were facing PTSD, police officers that are pulled off the line of duty for active shooting, dealing with PTSD, people with handicapped, lost abilities, quadriplegic, paraplegic, all these, we were doing it constantly for free. And we had a partner that let us know, it's like, hey, why don't we make this a nonprofit? We're doing such a good job. And because our focus is much different. There's a lot of different agencies out there, HSA, Wounded Warriors, there's different programs. And and dive hard, they take care of the divers. And when they go on trips, they take care of the diver, everything else that the diver needs, the people that are going with them. We wanted to put more focus on PTSD and any divers that have any physical inability. So all of our instructors are certified to take care of them. And in our program, one of the things that we do when someone applies to Dolphin Warriors, we set it through their committee, and then we sponsor them and we certify them from head to toe. We provide the equipment for them to use, and we certify them. Out of let's say we get 30 candidates that come through the store, we put them in a lottery, and then one of those customers gets a free trip every year to go on a trip somewhere.
Wow, that's cool.
We send them to go.
That's cool.
And we take care of them. If we put a handicap trip together, the foundation will fundraise and have donations enough to cover those divers. Mm-hmm. The rest of the family members, I am sorry, this might offend people, but you're a working able body. This is for those people. And we want the dollars that are given to this donation to go for that person, not for your person, your friend, your uncle, your father.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That stops helping more and more people. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it might make people mad, but I'm sorry. It's about the person that's facing the PTSD. Everyone else can pay their ticket.
That's great. Yeah. But what a really cool effort. So
needed.
Check out the scubacompany.com. They've got some great links on there. You can go look at the Dolphin Warrior program.
Get involved with the Dolphin Warrior program.
You can check out scubacotravel.com, which is the travel portion of it. Fantasy Island Dive Resort, Roatan is coming back. It's beautiful. Place. And it's coming back online in June, right? Is that what I think you said?
June 18th. June 18th, grand opening. We will be there and serving our customers just like we were before, even at a higher level than ever.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like that's going to wrap it up for us on this edition of Level Up from Behind the Counter. Yeah. Thank you so much again for joining us this afternoon. It's been a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you guys for having us. We really appreciate you guys.
Been a great show. We're going to wrap up today. Remember, you can watch all of the episodes on our YouTube channel at Scuba Diving Industry, or you can go to our website, scubadivingindustry.com, and check out all the videos as well as the latest issue, which is our March issue that's out right now. April will be out at the end of this month. That's right. So that's going to do it from here, and we'll see you next time behind the counter.
That's right. Bye, everyone.